something that we all intend to learn. Gossip and secrets are something that we are all interested in. All the way from Alibaba and the 40 Thieves till the pyramids of Egypt.
And all the way from space shuttles till Titanic. Everything has got a story and mystery behind it.
We all want to know what is the important story that each brand and its logo has got.
So this video is for all those entrepreneurs who want to name their company and want to build a strong brand for themselves.
In this particular video, we are going to tell you what are the brands and its iconic stories behind naming their brands and why they've used their particular logo. We're going to tell you simple and short stories which might also give you an example and a meaningful way that you can learn how to name your business.
So before we move ahead, do make sure that you subscribe to our channel.
Welcome to the Tea10 Fact Show. Hey Namita, before we start off by telling what the facts are about, why don't we answer them the previous question we asked before? Like, greed is good. Which movie dialogue is that?
Exactly. So guys, the answer to that is this dialogue is from the movie which was released in the year 1987 and the movie name is Wall Street.
Since we've answered that question, let's get back to the topic. Namita, which is the most famous online store? What is?
Okay, isn't that Blinkit?
No, Namita, it's just the famous ad that we keep seeing over and over, but it's Amazon, by the way.
Oh, like the dress I'm wearing is from Amazon.
Okay, see, so most of them would have made purchases on Amazon. But what we usually don't see is that why is Amazon so famous when it comes to their logos? They just have a simple name. What do you think is so unique about Amazon's logo?
It just spells Amazon and there is a smiley, I guess.
That's what everyone mistakes it for. Well, Amazon has its own meaning. As we all know, there's been an arrow from A to Z in Amazon. It just spells Amazon and it has an arrow pointing from A to Z. What it means is that Amazon actually sells all the products from A to Z. So they have given their simple message in a logo.
Oh wow, Varsha, that was brilliant. And that's why the tagline says Sabka Apna Dukaan. Now it makes sense. So now I've got you another brilliant brand name which I'm sure all of you know about it. So Varsha, as soon as I say Amul, what comes to your mind?
Taste of India?
Well, yes. But do you know the fact Amul is an acronym which stands for Anand Milk Union Limited. The brand actually started in a very small town named Anand, which is in the state of Gujarat. It has a very emotional story attached to it. And the brand that we today know it as Amul actually started to empower all the men and women alike so that they can make their livelihood.
I mean, Namita, this is such a nice fact because the collective efforts of the entire village actually made a brand. This is something emotional and nice to listen.
Yeah, and a brand that has crossed even international borders.
That was actually a nice story. So I have this one story for you guys as well as you. You all know this famous beverage brand. So could you take a guess?
Give me a hint.
Okay. These are actually the rivals for Coca-Cola.
Pepsi.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Pepsi is the brand that I will be telling you guys about. So before I start off with this, did you know the actual name was not called as Pepsi? The actual founder of Pepsi was actually called as Caleb Bradham, who wanted to name the drink after himself, called as the Brad's drink. Over the time, this didn't actually sustain in the market, so he changed it to Pepsi Cola over 5 years. Soon after he changed it, everyone was wondering why Pepsi is that famous drink and what is the sole cause of this. This was actually introduced in the thought of dyspepsia, which means indigestion. So the founder thought that it would be very apt to get this drink for digestion purpose after food. So thus came Pepsi.
So all the entrepreneurs, if you're starting a business, this is how you can brand yourself and then later on in the future, as and how the need be, you can rebrand it accordingly, whatever the situation might arise. So this brand actually sets an example as to how you can introduce your product or service as a solution to this customer's problem.
Exactly, Namita. That is one of the main causes that Pepsi was bought into the market. They always had a solution for the problem.
And who had actually ever thought that a cold drink would be used as a digestion drink? So now moving on from your Pepsi, Varsha, let me now introduce you all to another brand, which is Nutella. So Varsha, how old were you when you were introduced to this brand, Nutella?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I had Nutella when I was in 12th or something because I realized it late. I'm sorry guys.
Damn! But the story of Nutella actually takes us back to the World War One. This product is 7 decades old. This product or this brand was actually introduced when people during World War One were facing rationing, when people did not have anything sweet to eat. And then there were a couple of kids who actually ran to the bakery owner and they asked him to make something sweet. So the bakery owner made something very delicious with the help of cocoa beans and he spread it over the bread and gave it to the kids. And thus exists the brand called Nutella.
I mean, that was a really interesting story because I didn't know Nutella was old as cannons were used in the war.
My life be like.
But since we are moving on to interesting stories like this, Namita, I'm very sure that you would have had coffee in Starbucks.
Yeah, at least once.
Yeah, at least once. What is the one similarity between Starbucks and Disney?
Both are expensive and amazing.
So yeah, I know they're expensive, but you know that one of the Disney's princes are used as logo in Starbucks.
Really?
Yeah, it's the siren. Well, the Little Mermaid, I can say. They've used the Little Mermaid logo in Starbucks. I'm going to tell you the entire logic and story behind why they had to choose a siren or a mermaid as their logo. Initially, Starbucks got in a pretty lady with a beautiful fishtail and made sure that she looks perfect and beautiful. But then they thought that beauty is not what the world depicts. Imperfection is beauty is what they learned. They understood that even imperfection can be the most beautiful thing on earth. Humanity is imperfect, but still, it's the most beautiful thing. So this is where Starbucks thought that they should make this siren also look a little imperfect because that depicts the beautiful nature of each and every person.
So this is the thought process that goes into when you're building your strong brand.
It doesn't always have to be the message that you convince your customers that they have to come towards your brand. It always can be an emotional statement that connects you and your customer.
That indeed was a very amazing story.
I know, right? Like, do you have anything like this?
Oh well, yes I have. Rather, I would say it is an interesting brand that I'm going to talk about. Before I tell you what it is, so Varsha, which social media platform do you think has most number of users and has taken over everything?
I had no clue that we'll be going over so many trivias, but I think it's Insta.
No. It is Facebook. And why do you think Facebook is blue in color?
I don't know, probably the founder likes Smurfs a lot.
No. Well, the answer to that is actually the founder and the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has a problem which is called as red-green color blindness, and that's the reason why Facebook that we today know it as is blue in color.
I mean, that's a very nice story. At least he will not have any problem with the Monday blues. So that's a good one. And I didn't know that was the actual reason why it's blue in color. So moving on to, I have one of an interesting story that you should know as well. Hey Namita, since we're all done with the blues,
Okay.
and I'm looking at a lot of blue, but moving on to the next thing is that, which is your favorite shoe brand?
It's Puma. It's very comfortable, that's why.
See now, Adidas will be actually offended.
Offended for what? Are they rivals?
Yeah, exactly, they're rivals. What we all know is that Puma and Adidas is one of the greatest shoe brands. But what we don't know about Puma and Adidas is that these two are actually rivals. These two are brothers who have family feuds and issues and then became rivals. Rudolf, who's the owner of Puma, and Adolf, who's the owner of Adidas, actually have their own scale of competition. When it came to the competition scale, there's always a quote which says that two people fight and the third one always has the advantage. So we get the benefits of whatever their rivalry is going by. Since you both know that Puma and Adidas are the brands which have their own story towards brotherhood, you can also get to know that their competition also provides us with great goals.
Okay, that was a great rivalry between the two and a great two brands that we today see. But now, like the say is going, there's always a two side of the same coin. Now let me give you a story of the second side, which is how two brothers together built a very strong brand that we today know it as Airbnb. So the story of Airbnb starts wherein two brothers started this or developed this website with just 3 locations. And one fine day when the guests arrived, they handed over the key which looked like a paperclip. But the guests were wondering and they were confused what this actually meant. And then the brothers explained that this entire symbol is the combination of 3 different symbols. And the very first one symbolizes the head, which means that every human being is creative in their own way. The second one actually pinpoints to the location, which means that you will find Airbnb in every location that you would love to travel to. And the third one is just a heart, which means that you will feel welcomed whenever you visit any Airbnb rooms. So this is the combination of three symbols that actually makes the entire brand of Airbnb.
I mean, traveling is one of the things that we all love. Who doesn't love traveling? You?
No, I do, but I see you doesn't. Well, this was the story behind the symbol of Airbnb. So this is one such learning that you can combine all your thoughts together and build a unique logo for your brand and company.
That was actually very nice because the entire message of whatever they wanted to convey is already in their logo. It's pretty simple because when we actually look at the Airbnb website, the symbol or the logo is very simple, but it's got a really nice message to all of you as well as me. So moving on to the next one.
Wait, Varsha. So since we are already talking about interesting brands, I have got one last one for you. So well, it's about Dell. So why do you think the E in Dell is half tilted? It's just asleep.
Since we keep on going with the trivia that I am not aware of, what is that one common thing between the tilted E in Dell and me?
I don't know.
Both of us are lazy and I'm very lazy to answer, so please go ahead.
Okay. Actually, the E in Dell, you might have observed that it's little tilted, and that's because the founder of this company, Michael Dell, goes by the phrase, turn the world around its ear.
I know that ear is something that you can actually listen to the brand and understand what it is. It's one of the most important organs. Is that what he believes?
Exactly. Who doesn't want, if you're building a company, if you're starting your own company or building your business, why would you not want anyone to listen about or know about your brand? That's when he decided that everyone should know about Dell, and that's how he goes by the phrase,
around its ear. That's a great one actually. Since we're already talking about nice facts, I've actually saved the best to the last. I'm very sure that most of you wouldn't have actually heard about this or even noticed this about this particular company or brand. Namita, which is one of the most famous channels that covers almost all the documentaries. Let it be animal, nature, culture.
Animal and documentary would just remind me National Geography.
Exactly. So we all know that National Geography has a logo which says a little rectangular yellow box. But do you know what that rectangular box actually means? It's actually a door towards knowledge, which teaches you about animals, the old culture and the ancient cultures. This also does not only teach you about culture, but it also involves documentaries which have been covered and gives you an in-detail information. If you guys have actually observed, it's a yellow color rectangular box. But do you know why they've used yellow color? Namita, do you know why they've used yellow color?
I just know it's the yellow box.
Sorry I even asked you. But okay, getting back to the topic, they took yellow as their color because it depicts sun, and sun is the source of everything. So they wanted their channel to be the source of everything and every knowledge that they provide. So it also depicts the power of the sun, and their channel has to go in a powerful way. This is one of the most innovative way of designing their channel logo with so much of information behind it. And that was not just about National Geography. Even if you want to name your entire brand or business accordingly with more information and meaning, go ahead and take examples that we are giving. Facts are something that even you should know, and we tell you about it.
Also, if you're someone who wants to start their own business, you want to get some brilliant business ideas, and you want to learn about what are the marketing strategies you can implement, how you can build your own brand, then hurry up and download Freedom app, when we give you thousands of business ideas and will take you step by step how you can start your own business and build your own brand.
So if you like this video, do not forget to like, share and subscribe.
So now that we are wrapping up with this entire show, let me end it with one question, which you can answer it in the comment section if you know it. So here's the question. Tell me the name of the brand which has 2 boxes and 3 dots in it. Let us know in the comment section.
Since we've already come to the end of the show, I'm Varsha Renukumar
and Namita Pandey,
rolling down the curtains for this show. So do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and also download our Freedom app. Get wise,
break free.